Alright, so we're back, and I have my top cap back on my did, and I have my did with my SSGGTS and a stainless steel top cap. Allie has her cute little iAddy on a SSGGTS again, and to be completely and fully honest with my viewers, that hit that I started this video with was the very second rip that I've taken since I ended filming my last little clip, and as you can see, vapor production is already quite good. So right now, I'll take a couple more toots for you, but
Too much vapor.
never enough vapor. But alright, as you can see, vapor production is fucking awesome. I'm sorry to swear, but people really want big vapor production. That's what I can get from all of the PMs I get, all of the posts I see on the DID forum. Or that's not all people care about. I mean, right now for me, vapor production on a scale of 1 to 10, I would say is a 9.5. I say 9.5 and not 10 because I need to keep myself pushing to make bigger and bigger and bigger and more inappropriate clouds, just because that's how I am, and that's what keeps me going, keeps me tinkering in the game and always trying to get the newest of the new, which she hates, but...
No, it's fine.
But,
vapor production... It's an expensive hobby.
It is an expensive hobby, but anyway, 9.5 for vapor production. I would say flavor is at a rock solid 8.5 right now. And that's by no means a reflection of the DID. If I were to do a 5 wrap of 32 gauge, I would say that flavor is a 10. And I choose to sacrifice a small amount of flavor for the increased throat hit and vapor production. And I would say throat hit right now is, again, a solid 8.5. And again, I choose not to go 10 as keeps me yearning for more. And as I have modded my air hole, throat hit is going to be slightly lesser than if I had kept it the stock 1.2 millimeters. My current air hole, which I guess brings me into my next point for increasing vapor production with your DID and your other Genesis atomizers, is boring out your air hole to 1/16 of an inch is what I usually start with. And that's stock on the Genesis devices, if you were wondering, and the DID, like I said, is 1.2 millimeters. The Orion V2.1 is 1.0 millimeters. I believe the stock Katana is also 1.2 millimeters. The Hellfire Mini comes with a 1.2 as well. And they're all in the ballpark of 1 to 1.5, which is roughly what 1/16 of an inch is. But 1/16 is my standard. Now, most of my devices at this point have been bored out to 5/64 of an inch if I have the option of adding a second top cap, which I have on all my Zens and my DIDs now that I have my extra top caps from Jim. But 1/16 of an inch is a really excellent place to start. And I guess the next big pointer that I would give is to use an all-mechanical mod. And I chose the GGTS for this video because I really wanted to use the best of the best and to get this video as perfect as possible, and the GGTS, to me at least, exemplifies perfection. It's just, I love the GGTS. I really don't give it enough credit in all of my videos, but it's just an awesome device. I'm not going to make this a review about the GGTS, but an all-mechanical mod is extremely important, as devices like the Provari, which, you know, I own 2 Provaris, and it's a really great device. It does have a current rating of 3.5 amps, meaning that if you want to run a 1 ohm coil, you calculate your amperage by the voltage divided by the resistance. So for a 3.5 amp current output with a 1 ohm coil, that means you could run it at a max of 3.5 volts. And you sometimes will still get an error reading for a 1 ohm coil at 3.5 volts on the ProVari, but I choose to totally bypass any of that nonsense, and I can run my coils as low as I want at a sustained 3.7 voltage the entire time, which brings me to my next big point, which is batteries. Now, the standard for most mechanical and non-mechanical mods now is the AW IMR 18650, and this is a 2000 mAh. They have them in 1600. The 2000 is what replaced it. And AW-IMR is an excellent battery. I have nothing negative to say about AWs. They are around $11, I believe, maybe as cheap as 7 or 8, depending on the size and where you buy them, but great battery, but not the best battery. And I think it's a misconception that they're the best battery, as I would say the MNKE 1500 mAh 18650. They're these little orange bats, and they are only 1500 milliamp hours as opposed to the 2000 of the AWs, but they have a current rating of 30 amp continuous output, whereas the AWs have a current rating of 10 amps. So what that boils down to is that when you're powering especially a low resistance coil, and I mean low resistance, below 1.2, and for me my sweet spot is around 0.8 to 0.9. Try and keep in that ballpark, but I'll go as low as 0.65 with my Hellfire Mini. Your voltage under load is going to be much lower than the unloaded voltage of the battery. So freshly charged AW-IMR as well as the MNKE will register at 4.2 volts, whereas the voltage under load, as in when you have a point of resistance connected to the battery, your voltage is going to read much lower. And a freshly charged one will read at 3.7, but as the internal charge of your battery lowers, your voltage under load will typically lower.
And a battery trick, or a tip, I guess, that he does that I've never heard of before is if you see on any of his batteries or on any of the ones where he has multiple ones, he does little lines on them in order to, he has battery pairs, and he does the same amount of lines for each battery pair so that you know
that the internal resistance of the battery is the same, to keep the chemistry as safe as possible when stacking batteries.
So he knows how many times he's charged it, and he makes sure 3 red is always charged with the other 3 red.
To keep the same number of recharge cycles on the battery set. So I know when one battery goes, or if it fails, God forbid, then I will just throw out the other one in that set of batteries. But yeah, the MNKEs will hold their voltage under load for much longer than the AWs, and I haven't been able to get 3.7 volts under load with a 0.6 ohm coil before with an AW, whereas the MNKEs have held at 3.7 for the entire duration of the battery life, or just until the very end. And they are slightly more expensive, but you can get them at digitalcigs.com, and that's digitalciggz.com. And there is a coupon code for them, and it's CIGGZ10, and that will get you 10% off. And they're located on the West Coast. I believe they're in California, just so you get an idea of shipping. But that's pretty much it. So to cover again, huge tips for increasing your vapor production: 400 mesh, which will also help increase your flavor, using a very thin wick, using an all-mechanical mod, especially one that can accommodate an 18650, so as to use the MNKEs, using 30 gauge rather than 32 gauge Canthal A1 resistance wire, and that's pretty much it. A couple other small pointers. The drip tip you use does make some difference. As you can see here, this is a little Super T Manufacturing contoured mini, and the bore of the actual mouthpiece is much wider than, say, let's see, that's pretty much all I have anymore, but besides for my glass tips. But then a stock Delrin, let's say, drip tip, and the greater bore of the mouthpiece will allow for easier airflow and one with less resistance, so as to draw more air over the coil. So I definitely suggest the Super T-tips. Personally, I really enjoy glass tips. I know Allie has her.
Or it's yours. The Sagewood Roasted Donut.
Which I love. And I like the glass. It helps to improve the flavor a bit. But currently on mine, as the did is made by Vapors, which is Metal Madness Vapors, which I love. I usually rock a stainless steel tip on there with an all stainless steel mod. But if you can see, this is a custom Ming that I had made for myself. Really wide bore. I think it's slightly larger than the Super T's. And yeah, some other pointers. Making sure that the contacts on your mod, as in where the battery touches the metal to complete the circuit, you want to make sure all of your contacts are polished. I have, let's see if I have it handy. Yep. A small Dremel, my Dremel with a little buffing wheel on there for polishing my contacts. Keeping contacts clean will... Oh, you're getting so bored.
I'm not bored. It's just so beyond my level of understanding. I just press the button, and then it works.
And she gets devices that I wait on the list for months for, and she just chiefs away and doesn't know what she's doing, but it's cute.
And I'm using the Kick. Didn't you want to say something about the Kick?
The Kick, I don't suggest the Kick for Genesis Atomizers.
Oh, I like it.
She likes it, but she's a little girl. And I think the Kick is for little girls. I think 10 watts is inadequate for what it's not inadequate. It doesn't meet my vaping needs, and it doesn't accommodate for my vaping style. With a 0.8 ohm coil at 3.7 volts, you're coming in somewhere around 15, 16 watts, I believe. And the Kick just won't perform like that. Maybe a stacked DNA chip device will be better. Or 2 DNA boards, if you're going to run a Genesis Atomizer with a device like that, like, power to you. Send me a link, I will buy yours. But unless you have a device that can handle 5 amps, like the VMAX is a great option. Stick to mechanical mods. 5 amps should be a good high-end level as far as power that you want to be running through these. I usually keep it at a very lowest of 3.5 and upwards of 6, and I think as high as 7 even on occasion, depending on just how dangerous I'm feeling. But
how dangerous you're feeling.
Mechanical mods, the way to go. And this video has to be way too long at this point, so I'm going to call it a close. But I hope everyone enjoyed. We do not have time for bloopers, but I hope our little commentary is funny enough to satiate that aspect of the video. But that's all. I hope you enjoyed, and I definitely intend to do more videos with Allie and hopefully with James as well, and any other of my friends and acquaintances who vape if they want to participate. That'd be great. Oh, and one last note. Holding your mod parallel to the ground, I see people bashing on that, and I don't know what that's about, but I don't know about you, but I held my cigarette parallel to the ground. Did you? I wasn't trying to vape upwards or... Anyway, it feels natural to me when I hold a big mod and I'm sitting down at least. That's how I vape. It's comfortable and it helps it to wick better. And don't be ashamed to hold your mod parallel to the ground. If that's what's going to make it perform better, then power to you. Don't listen to the haters who don't know what they're talking about. But it really boils down to what you enjoy and what you want out of your vaping experience. I'm just here to fill you in as to what works for me. And as of late, that's huge clouds, lots of throat hit, and great flavor. And I hope my tutorial will help you get to that place if that's what you're into. But again, thank you and enjoy.